Today we're making a cocktail that will be accented by the use of clear ice. So get your clear ice ready. Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derrick Schommer, and that's it. I might even have to make a new tag for myself. It's Memorial Day weekend, so finding people to round up in here is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. I'm going to solo this. Today we're making the opening cocktail. This is a simple one. It's going to use, I don't know why, that's whatever. Sweet Vermouth, Grenadine, and blended Scotch. So you can pick your whatever Scotch you want. This episode's executive producer is Kieran. Boom, right there. Alfred C. submitted this. To me, I'm going to say, people are going to say a Godfather. I don't know if that's right. A Godfather or the Godmother or one of those. I remember something that has like Sweet Vermouth and Scotch and I guess a Manhattan. I don't know. This just feels eerily similar of something that might exist. Simple to build. Like we were talking last week, what is a simple go-to cocktail? Ice, these three things in a glass, and you're done. In a tray. We got Luxardos here. Obviously, you can get those at awesomedrace.com. Then I'm going to use one of these two pieces of ice. I am going to choose to use the tempered piece. This is what a piece of tempered ice looks like. It's really clear. It's been sitting out. I added a little cold water to it without breaking it, which was pretty interesting. And then this one's getting there, but I don't necessarily need that one. So what we would do now is, if Ian left me some of these, you take your ice, you put it in a glass. Boom. And the other good reason to temper it is if I just stick this in there, this one's getting there, so it might be okay. It's got a little melt water on it. As you're building over the ice, it's going to go snap, 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 and it's going to break up. And I'm hoping that's not going to happen this time. This week, I'm also going to see if I can get away with using a jigger the entire time. This one's easy because it's 1.5 ounces of blended Scotch whiskey, 1/2 ounce of Sweet Vermouth, 1/2 ounce of Grenadine. That's it. So we're going to do the 1.5 ounces first. And with a jigger, you're going to do 1 ounce. And then you're going to do the 1/2. The thing I bothers me about these is I feel like it gets you're really wet, like because
pouring your...
No, but like it doesn't matter. Like you have to get it on the cusp. And if you get it on the cusp, it's going to start to spill down here as you're doing this.
I never had problems with getting my fingers wet.
Whatever. Ice science. All right. Now we need 1/2 ounce of our Grenadine. For Grenadine, I have chosen, because it was open, is the Jack Rudy small batch. Is it small batch? Do they call it small batch? I think they do. Small batch Grenadine. This is basically a real Grenadine. So if you're making this cocktail, you've got a really nice vermouth like Via or something that's not that $4 Noli crap, and you build it with roses, somebody should stab you in the toe with like a really, really thick needle or something. So that would hurt because it's just bad. Use a real natural Grenadine. I got a Snapchat today from one of our fans that was creating their own Grenadine. They actually took all the seeds out and they blended them up in a blender or food processor. Then they boiled in the sugar and the simple syrup. And from there, all you really need is, you could stop there, but you could do orange flower water or orange blossom water, however you want to say it. And you've got yourself natural Grenadine. I prefer that you purchase it from awesomedrace, obviously.
Godfather, part 1 Scotch, one part Scotch, 1 part amaretto.
Oh, Scotch and amaretto. My bad. Not even close. Done.
Shift this way a bit.
Done. That, my friends, is what the clear ice does. It highlights the drink's color. While it isn't necessarily that great looking, the star really comes out as, oh, it's people look at it and go, wow, that's cool ice. Where did you get that? As opposed to, it just looks like a cocktail. So there is a wow factor to it. If it is a cool looking cocktail, then it doesn't distract with that big white square in the middle. But you don't have to do that. You can serve yourself any way you want. Well, it smells like vermouth, so you've got that going on. Now, it has a nice hint of sweetness with a balanced dry. The Scotch is, it's not necessarily lost. We're using Chivas 12. You could use, I wouldn't get too crazy. If all you have is a single malt Scotch, you can use it. But the Scotch is kind of, it's vying for first place. There's a lot of like the sweet vermouth and the sweet grenadine kind of playing in, the sugar from the grenadine, and then the Scotch kind of tails off at the end. You get a little bit of that peaty, smoky, barrel kind of flavor that you get out of a lot of different Scotches. I guess it could bring up some of the value, the flavor of a blended Scotch if you're using like a Johnnie Walker Red. I would personally go with Johnnie Walker Black as the starting point for those. But a blended Scotch, I was very intimidated when I first got into Scotch, and I was like, what's the difference between Scotch? Aren't they all the same? And they are not all the same. You've got your blended, you've got your single malts. Single malts would be, more specific flavors, where the blended is a very consistent flavor. Kind of like how Budweiser is a blend that everybody enjoys and is always consistent. Blends tend to be more consistent, so people can enjoy them. Single malts could be different every time. It's like a wine. Although they're pretty consistent with like their 15s and the 18s of different brands. It's not a bad cocktail. I'm not massive into Scotch cocktails. I would rather drink something, I would rather this be a bourbon, personally, because I want more oak out of it. But it is a neat little play. It's not crazy. It's very easy to make. Bam, you're done. That's it. Question of the day. I asked about your simple cocktails. Did we get any questions, Jennifer?
No.
No questions from the folks? You know what? I'm going to start it out with a question that's self-promoting. Have you taken a look at homecocktailmenu.com? Right? That is our new website. If you didn't watch the video that went out last week, you should be watching it today or just going to homecocktailmenu.com. That's the place where Jennifer's putting out ebooks that you can download for a price, and I'm going to work on, my next one I'm working on is a free download, which will kind of entail 10 of the hosts. We've had 10 hosts here, and it seems like a lot, but in total, with guest hosts and whatever, and some of the fans that have dropped by, 10 hosts. I had each one pick at least one recipe that they think is their all-time best, most of which have been shown on the show. So I want to put that out and say, hey, look, this is a culmination of years of work, and maybe it's a good thing to put out for around the July time frame, since it'll be our 8th year anniversary here. So maybe that's around a target date to shoot for. Also, don't forget, you should check out awesomedrinks.com for these awesome little low profile wide old fashioned glasses. That's it, my friends. Just an update. On the 10th of June, we'll have Rumsons here to do an entire rum session with us, and then on the 17th we're going to do some beer with Justin Hurd, one of our fans that lives up north in New Hampshire. And that's it, my friends. We're done. We are teaching you how to drink.
Now that's sexy.
Yeah, put that over here.
Sex in a glass. Don't recommend.
That's
tight joints.
Unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe.
Maybe Jennifer's gonna hit us up a photo. That'd be awesome.
Sure.